Hello, everybody. Welcome to our birth code, numerology birth code number 4 video. So there are a few other videos if you have some other numbers you're curious about. We do have videos for the other numbers as well. So 1, 2, 11, 3, all the other numbers. As well as an intro video for that kind of dives into more of the specific elements we'll talk about today. This is more to drive home about the numerology elements of our birth code specific to the number 4. So I'll put a link below to those other videos if you are curious about them. So jumping right in, there are what we're going to call 3 birth code elements, and that is the day of birth, the life purpose number, and the destiny number. So the day of birth, as if you know anything about numerology, you know that we try to get everything down to a single digit. So if something is 4 digits, say the number, 1100, we would add 1 plus 1 plus 0 plus 0, obviously 0. That was an easy one, but that would add to a number 11 or 2 in numerology. So we try to break down numbers to a single digit. The exception is the number 11 and the number 22. Those are master numbers, so typically we don't break those down any further. So for those born on the 4th, the 13th, the 22nd, or the 31st of any month, you're going to have a day of birth of 4. Numerology day of birth of 4. And what that means, the day of birth, it describes kind of like your core level of who you are, your true essence, and kind of like how you move and operate through the world. So those who have a day of birth of 4, you are the strong ones. You're the disciplined, the determined, the hardworking, the stable, really down to earth, like the people that we would all say are very dependable. You love like your family and your home to like kind of be in order when that's possible. And you're very loyal as well. So that is kind of like the light side of the 4 day of birth in your true essence. So there are shadow sides, and that could be, because you're so determined and disciplined, hardworking, and like, focused on the end goal. Sometimes 4s can be a little rigid. So, a little rigid and unwavering. So it's careful, there's a fine balance between being determined and hardworking and not changing ever from the path that you're on. So got to watch out for that as well. These stable, honest, like hardworking people you are, the day of birth of 4. Sometimes you can kind of, I don't want to say lacking humor, but you have a different kind of humor, but sometimes you don't allow others to see that because you're trying to keep up this very hardworking, stable, diligent facade. So, cut loose, have some balance there. As well, those 4s, because they're so laser focused, they're so determined and stable, and they really see how things should be done, and they're usually right. In my experience with those born on a 4 day of birth, they are usually right. However, being bossy is one of those things that can kind of creep up whenever you're not paying attention. So that's something else to watch out for. So that's the first element, the day of birth. Talks about your core essence, your true essence and who you are and how you operate in the world. The second element is called the life purpose. Some people refer to this number in numerology as the life path, but we call it, life purpose. So same thing. And the life purpose number is calculated by your full date of birth. So in numerology, again, we try to get numbers that are large down to a single digit. So for instance, if you have a birth date of July 20th, 1984, you would add 7 plus 2 plus 0 plus 1, 9, 8, 4, add those together, and you'll get usually a 2-digit number, sometimes a 3-digit number. A 2-digit number, and you'll separate those two, add them again to get a 4. So that is how you calculate the life purpose number. So for those with a life purpose number of 4, Well, I guess I'll tell you a little about the life purpose number. That is for the life purpose describes essentially exactly how it sounds when we ask the question, like, what is my purpose? Like, what's my reason for being here on earth? Like now, what is it all for? This number is going to give you a lot of insight to why you came and answer that question essentially. So it'll tell us kind of how we express our gifts in the world, when related to our purpose. And also, you know, when we're working on something as a purpose, we're learning. So we're a student. And then we're also teaching, because whatever we learn, we relay to others, whether it's just by us doing and being a certain way, or actually, you know, formally teaching what we're learning. So it's kind of describes all of that in just one piece of information. It's kind of amazing. So those who have a life purpose of 4, you guys came here to like persevere. Not that you had to have a hard life, but I know a lot of 4s, life purpose 4s, where they do, and I don't know if that's, you know, created by their spirit, you know, to allow them to have that vibration of being stable and diligent, hardworking, like kind of muscling through challenge, essentially. But you came here to persevere through all circumstances, and to show the rest of us how freedom can be obtained by being disciplined and like being dedicated. Because a lot of people think of freedom and they think of, oh, I can do whatever I want, you know, no responsibility. And 4s, you know, because you're so disciplined and structured and stable, you're secure, and your mind energy is not wrapped up in feeling insecure about, you know, things being disorganized or not knowing what you're doing. So by being disciplined and being determined and being hardworking, you free up that energy to have freedom to do other things in life, if that makes sense. I hope it does. But yeah, you came here to like be that for yourself and also show us how that looks. And very valuable information and very valuable to the rest of the world. To be, you know, like kind of this pillar of moral good standing. Um, I know a lot of life path 4s, like they have kind of like those traditional moral belief systems, which when they're well placed are very wise, and they relay that in a way to the rest of us that you know, can kind of teach us how what's right and what's wrong, what should be and what shouldn't be. So the 4s are there to represent that for us. And some celebrities who have a life purpose number of 4 are Keanu Reeves. So very stable, very determined individual, actor, very talented as well. Oprah Winfrey. Hello. Oh, we all know Oprah Winfrey, very determined, came from the bottom, now she's here, kind of thing. And Nicole Kidman and Margaret Thatcher as well. So the title of this video is 4 and 22. So as you know, like 22 is a 2-digit number, and numerologically, if we were to break it down to a single digit, it would be 2 + 2 = 4. So, but 22 is what we call a master number. And so in addition to those characteristics we just talked about for the life purpose of 4, 22 people that add their birth date up and it's a 22, they will have those 4 elements, because it technically is their vibration of 4, but as well they will be even more balanced. They'll have this like sense of like being very powerful, because they're so determined, because they're so disciplined, because they're so balanced, and so just like even more determined. So if anything, it's just an amplification of kind of those qualities of life purpose 4s. They also are kind of like that, they have that like, you 22s have that rise to the top and that like way shower mentality and vibration. You show others like how things should be done. So thank you. And some celebrity, I just had a little note here, so I would remember to tell you guys. So Tina Fey has a life purpose number of 22, Will Smith, and also the 14th Dalai Lama. So all very determined way showers. So the third number in our birth code is what we would call the destiny number. Sometimes this is referred to as the expression number, but we'll call it the destiny number. So for those with a destiny of 4, destiny number is kind of like, it's calculated first of all from our full birth name, so our full birth certificate name. And in numerology, letters are transferred into numbers using the Pythagorean alphabet. If you Google destiny number calculator, there's lots of free calculators online. You type in your name, your first, middle, and last birth name, and it will calculate your number for you. So you don't have to go through that exercise if you don't want to. So once we turn the letters into numbers and we calculate them, add them up down to a single digit, those that add up to 4, it'll tell them what kind of like career vocation environment is best and where they're going to find the most joy and abundance, like where their soul is going to start singing, as we said in other videos. And, you know, when you love something and you love to do something, many times you're going to create a lot of abundance and prosperity in your life, whether it's money, time, freedom, you know, health, friends, whatever kind of abundance and prosperity. A lot of times that will surround whenever you can be in the right kind of environment for your destiny number. So for destiny number 4 people, anything that involves, you know, because of the discipline, because of that vibration of like determination, anything that involves a really like methodic and disciplined approach, like, you know, construction, being like a lawyer or involved in some kind of law aspect, you know, very disciplined there, very organized. Engineering as well, like finance and accounting, very detail oriented, have to like follow through very frequently and very strictly in those areas. Or the classical sciences, so being a scientist would be very fitting environments for a destiny number 4 person. Also any career where you can pass on your knowledge, because, you know, you've spent all this determination and discipline like gathering knowledge, and so passing it on is very important to you. So as a teacher or a mentor, and, you know, in the formal sense and then in the informal sense. So if there's a way that, you know, to teach and mentor outside of being a teacher, you would value and do well and create a lot of joy in your life by doing that. So I hope this was really helpful for you. Finding this information out for myself and then passing it on to friends, family, and now clients was an extreme pleasure in my life. I got a lot from this information for myself. So just returning and paying it forward, returning the favor. There is a, you know, if you want to know more about your current name, so if it is your current birth name that you still use and it hasn't changed, there is a way that we can calculate your current name vibration, and it is different than calculating your destiny number. And this is going to tell you whether your current name is fortunate and supports you and, you know, creates a very pleasurable experience in your life, or if it's challenging and actually detracts from your life experience and causes, like, you know, things to cross your path and creates challenge for you. Likewise, not just your name, but, you know, any kind of name, website name, product name, book name, pet name. So we can calculate using a very kind of complex ancient system to gain wisdom and insight for our current name vibration. So if you're interested in that, of course, you can contact me via my website, schedule a session, leave a comment here. I can certainly give you some information that way as well. Lots of benefits from finding that information out as well. So until next time, thanks for hanging in there. I hope you guys have a great day, great week, and enjoy.